Okay, let's see. Peace. Salam
Peace.
Allah. Salam alaikum. So to everybody that's on. We are today's topic is the science behind the Nation of Islam Ramadan, and the host of the Supreme Angels is myself, Brother Anur Allah. We have Brother Minister Alif Allah out in Pennsylvania, and Minister Khalil Allah, who was having some technical problems earlier, but that should be taken care of shortly. And pretty much the topic that we touch on is the science of Islam, or the science behind the Nation of Islam Ramadan, as taught by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad in the month of December. And before we begin all things, we open up in the name of Allah. Minister Alif, if you want to open up or I open up, either which way, either doesn't matter.
You could go ahead and open up, God.
Okay, yes, sir. All right. Well,
I'm here to support you.
Indeed. All right. We begin all things in the name of Allah, which is Arabic for the God. And the God that I'm speaking of is the original people, who is Allah, the supreme being, or Black man of Asia. We forever give praise to the God who came to us in person to teach, raise, and save a mentally dead people from a mental death. That God's name is Master Farad Muhammad. And we are eternally happy and grateful for his raising and teaching and leaving behind his divine messenger in our presence, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It is in the name of Allah that I greet all of our listeners with our season's greetings of Ramadan Mubarak. Okay.
Ramadan Kareem.
Indeed. Okay. Mubarak is Arabic for blessings or congratulations. What is Ramadan? That's what we're getting into today, this evening rather. Ramadan is an Arabic word for heat, dry, and thus purified. In the culture of Islam, Ramadan is the process of purification. In the Nation of Islam in the West, although we respect all people, we do not follow the traditional customs of the Muslims of the East. Our foundation is the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. As he always said, was given to him by Master W.D. Farad Muhammad, the great Mahdi to us. So we're going to begin with a few excerpts from How to Eat to Live, book number 1. Okay, but before we begin, anything you wanted to mention, Brother Minister Alif? It sounded like you was going to say something.
No, sir.
All right, let's continue going. First quote from the chapter, Why and How We Fast in December, chapter number 45 of How to Eat to Live, book 1. Quote, this is from Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I have chosen for quite a few years the month of December for my followers to fast in the month of Ramadan. It serves as a sign that we are the end of all signs pertaining to the pilgrimage and fasting in the month of Ramadan. Quote, that's from How to Eat to Live, book 1, page 45. I'm just going to, let me see if I can handle the sound systems of people logging in and out. Let me see. Just hold on.
Entry and exit chimes are off.
All right. Let's go on to the next slide. Next quote from the messenger. We fast in the 12th month of the Christian year to relieve ourselves of having once worshipped that month as the month in which Jesus was born. It is now known and agreed upon by the scholars and scientists of religion that nothing of the kind took place 2,000 years ago. Okay, pause. Are you getting any feedback, Brother Minister Ali?
No, I can move.
Okay, I was getting feedback from some out. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think I know where it's coming from. No, I think I just took care of it. I think I know where it's coming from. Sorry about that, God. Okay. Begin. All right. We fast in the 12th month of the Christian year to relieve ourselves of having once worshipped that month as the month in which Jesus was born. It is now known and agreed upon by the scholars and scientists of religion that nothing of the kind took place 2,000 years ago. Jesus was born not in the month of December, but rather as God has revealed it and according to the season that history claims existed at that time, the first or second week in September. That's also from How to Eat to Live, Book 1, page 45. During this month, eat before day and after the sun goes down, if you wish, but not during the daylight hours. This also goes for drinking. Drink whatever you are going to drink either before dawn or after dark. The eating before dawn is for those of us who love to eat breakfast in the mornings. But if you eat one meal a day, you may eat that meal either before dawn or after dark. That's from How to Eat to Live, Book 1, page 46. In this month of fasting, we shall keep our minds and hearts clean, and we shall not indulge in the eating of land meats in parentheses. In this month, we should keep our minds on Allah, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, my God and your God, my Savior, my God and your God, and my Savior and Deliverer, and your Savior and Deliverer, to whom be praises forever, for giving us life after our mental death for the past 400 years. That's from How to Eat to Live, Book 1, page 46. So more from the messenger. Keep up prayer and let us all be grateful to Allah for his coming in the person of Master Fard Muhammad throughout the month of December and every month. And during this month, let there be no quarreling or disputing in our homes or abroad. Let me handle this feedback. Okay, How to Eat to Live, Book 1, page 46. Why did the Messenger of Allah want us to keep our minds clean and our focus on truth and away from falsehood, especially while purifying in the month of December? First, let us look into the law of focus. Quote, what you focus on expands, and when you focus on the goodness in your life, you create more of it. This is from the book Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. Here's a quote from our sister Oprah Winfrey. Quote, what you focus on expands, and when you focus on the goodness in your life, you create more of it. Power flows to where the attention goes, and the source of that is unknown. I couldn't actually trace it to its origin, but it wasn't me. Focus is an aspect of mental power. In our Supreme Wisdom lessons, from where we're gonna see what our Supreme Wisdom lessons has to say about focus and mental power. So we're gonna go directly there. Lost Found Muslim lesson number 2, answer number 32, identifies mental power with physical power and distinguishes between the original man and a real devil. Quote, tell us the mental and physical power of a real devil. Answer, the mental power of a real devil is nothing in comparison with the original man. He only has 6 ounces of brain, while the original man has 7 1/2 ounces of brain, which are original. The devil has 6 ounces of brain. They are grafted brains. The devil's physical power is less than 1/3 that of the original man. The devil is weak bone, weak blood, because he is grafted from the original. Therefore, his mental and physical power is much weaker than the original man. This is from Lost Found Muslim lesson number 2, question and answer number 32. Okay, Minister Alif, you there? Okay. Salam Allah. Okay, I'll put it back on mute. Okay. The Holy Quran or Bible is made by the original people, who is Allah, the Supreme Being, or Black Man of Asia. This is Lost Found Muslim lesson number 2, answer number 32. Okay, going back to the law of focus. Right, this right here, Alif Lam Ra. Let me use my mouse. This is the Arabic for Alif Lam Ra. Okay. It says, "I am the seer." This appears 5 times in the Holy Quran, in Surah 10, Ayat 1, Surah 11, Ayat 1, Surah 12, Ayat 1, Surah 14, Ayat 1, and Surah 15, Ayat 1. Okay, I see everybody. I see people in the chat. Peace, everybody. If there's any issues that you have hearing me, like if I go out, because I can't hear myself, but you can probably hear me. Just type right here with it, if you follow the arrow where it says type your message here, and you can let me know if there's any like feedback or sound and you can't hear me, and that way I can correct it. Let me see. Okay. Hold on. Mr. Ali. Okay, Brother Minister Salif, I had to put you on mute for a moment. I think there was some feedback coming from your background. Can you hear me now, God?
Yeah, I still can hear you.
Okay.
I always heard y'all was saying you clear to me.
Oh, okay, got it. All right, I'm gonna go to the next slide now. But before we go to the next slide, let's go do a quick review. Alif Lam Ra, right? This is Arabic in the Holy Quran for I am the seer. This is dealing with the law of focus for the original man. This appears 5 times in the Holy Quran, again in Surah 10, Ayat 1, Surah 11, Ayat 1, Surah 12, Ayat 1, Surah 14, Ayat 1, and Surah 15, Ayat 1. That means something. Okay, let's go continue on. Next slide says, all right, the black eye is an eye rich in melanin. It is an attribute of a highly melanated brain and nervous system rich in carbon and copper. Black carbon is an absorber of energy and power. Copper is a conductor of energy and power. Lost Found Muslim lesson number 2, answer number 32 says in part that the mental power of a real devil is nothing in comparison to the original man. So now we're dealing with power, we're dealing with the law of focus. Yeah. Cosmic influences on our planet cause the power of the original man's focus to enhance as the month of December progresses. We're going to get more into that later. We're actually going to show and prove, and just before I continue to the next slide, we want everybody to do your diligent research. Do your research. You don't want anything being taken for face value. Research.
That's fine.
Why December? Why? Okay. As we go back to the messenger, Most Elijah Muhammad, into why and how we fast in December. Okay. Why did I prescribe for you the month of December? It is because it was in this month that you used to worship a dead prophet by the name of Jesus. And it was the month that you wasted your money and wealth to worship the 25th day of this month, December, as the Christians do. And that's from How to Eat to Live, Book 2, page 48. Now, from the perspective of astronomy, okay, fasten our seatbelts, did a little research on this, and we're going to put the science or the astronomy in very simple terms for everybody to understand. But again, do your diligent research, which is what we encourage everyone to do. Okay. All stars produce cosmic radiation and stellar magnetism. Okay, it's just a picture here. We can get an idea of what our stars do and what they're like. Okay. As the month of December progresses, our planet, Earth, moves closer on its orbit towards a key point between the sun and the star Sirius A. I'm going to move through this slowly, but everybody should have, it'd be good if you get pen and paper and pen and pad to take some of these points down so that way we can reference them. Okay. This key point on Earth's orbit is referred to in astronomy as the periapsis. Okay. You can look up what that means. That's something that I would love for everyone to do some research on and see what the periapsis mean. We're going to breeze through these slides. So, okay. As the Earth orbits closer towards the periapsis, the magnetism from both the sun and Sirius synergizes and magnetizes our planet's own geomagnetic field. This, in turn, magnetizes the spiritual, mental, and physical body of man, which is all one. Different phases. This may explain the feelings of warmer vibrations, goodwill, and or unique energy that is often experienced or observed and experienced by people in general, even among many who do not celebrate traditional holidays. So that time of year, sometimes you might still get a feeling, even though we come into consciousness and awareness, we just get into that feeling. And it's way more than just the lights that we see outside. As mentioned previously, Ramadan is an Arabic word which means heat and dry and thus purified. A purified body, brain cells included, is a catalyst for enhanced mental, spiritual, will, and focus power. Power flows to where the focus goes, quote stated from earlier. Therefore, under these powerful influences, we can place our focus on and give power to either tricknology, which is devilishment, telling lies, stealing, and trying to master the original man. Just breezing through these slides, okay? Or we can heed the wisdom of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and give power to the good that we desire by keeping the mind focused on that which Master Farad Muhammad, Master W.F. Muhammad described as heaven, which includes but is not limited to luxury, money, good homes, friendships in all walks of life, peace of mind, and contentment. Oops, go back. I went a little too fast. So luxury, money, good homes, friendships in all walks of life, peace of mind, and contentment. These are all attributes or descriptions of heaven that Master Farad Muhammad, his messenger, shared with us. So we can focus on freedom and focus on that and expand it. Justice, equality, Islam. And just with our focus, we can give power to these things. Okay. Again, power flows to where the focus goes. Therefore, you have the ability to give power to wherever you choose to concentrate your focus, which is your attention, worship, etc., and bring it to reality in your life via the law of focus, expansion, attraction, and manifestation. Prayer is real, family. Quote, this is Holy Quran, Surah 2, Ayah 115. It says, and for Allah is the east and west. So wherever you turn focus to, there is God's purpose. See, that right there is dealing with the law of focus. And here's an example of mental science in motion, quoted from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad in his August 20th, 1972 Theology of Time lecture. He says, quote, let thy will be done. Will. He just wills a thing and it comes to pass. He has conferred this upon the righteous. That is, if you love Allah, obey Allah and his messenger, prophets, and do the will of him who is sent to teach you, you also could will a thing and it will come to pass. Again, that was August 20th, 1972. Now comes the proof. Quote from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Theology of Time. He said, you've had too much religion. I've come to teach you the science in religion. Okay, let's fasten our seatbelts now. You're not, no reason to get afraid, but we just getting into the science now. Peace, Brother Minister Dawood. I see you there. Shahid El-Shabazz, Sister Salima, Just. Okay, let's go back to these slides. As mentioned previously, observing the fast of Ramadan during the month of December purifies the body, brain cells included, thereby enhancing man's clarity and overall mental power in preparation for Earth approaching an apsis point on its orbit around the sun. The apsis point, which we will focus on now, is known in astronomy as the periapsis. It begins about midnight of December 31st or 12 a.m. January 1st and extends into the first few days of January. This right here is a little demonstration or picture of, you get an idea of what, this periapsis is. Here we are, January 1st. If you can follow my mouse here, the arrow, this right here is just following the Earth's orbit. And, here we are, we're approaching fall, and then we just passed that. And now we're approaching the periapsis, which begins January 1st, right? Then from there, we have on to spring, and then you have all the way on until the apoapsis, which is July 4th. That's another topic for now. But if we look carefully, we see right here a line of apsis that connects both the apoapsis, which is July 4th, and the periapsis, which is January 1st. This line connects directly with, and it's on a straight angle with the star Sirius A. We'll get more into that later on, but let's go to the next slide. There are two apsides, which is plural for apsis, on Earth's orbit around the sun. The first one we just mentioned, The second one occurs on or around July 4th. This is called the apoapsis, which represents another key date in Nation of Islam history that we will address at another time. Okay, here it is again. Oops, just went a little too fast. It's just a picture of the Earth's orbit here. You can follow the arrow. If we notice on January 1st, the Earth is directly between the sun, which is right here, following the arrow. And if you go on that straight line, that's the star Sirius, Sirius A, the large star. Okay. Let's go a little further down now. Okay. The periapsis occurring on or around January 1st coincides with the end of our month of Ramadan, which is the purification process. The periapsis is the point on Earth's orbit where our planet is both closest to and directly between the sun and the star Sirius A, simultaneously on a 180-degree straight angle alignment. Let's go back and just take a look at it again, just in case we might have missed it. But yeah, here's sun, here's Earth, January 1st, here's Sirius, straight line. Okay. Sirius A is on a 180-degree straight angle alignment with the Earth's line of apsides, again, which is January 1st and July 4th. July 4th, January 1st, straight line, Sirius A. All stars, again, produce cosmic radiation and stellar magnetism. The synergized magnetism of the sun and Sirius A maximizes on our planet at midnight of December 31st or 12 a.m. January 1st. Here we are again. So because the Earth is closest to both Sirius and the sun on January 1st, that's when we're feeling its full power, the full power of both. So yeah, it does affect us. It affects planet, affects the magnetic field, thought process, everything. Okay. According to a Harvard University abstract titled, quote, "The Daily Variation of Irregular Disturbances of the Earth's Magnetic Field at Bombay," in simple word terms, the Earth's magnetic field and how it's affected. Okay. The intensity of the Earth's magnetic field at any place is subject to many irregular short period fluctuations. The intensity of Earth's magnetic field maximizes at night during the winter months. The only logical reason for this is the synergized effect of both the sun and Sirius's magnetism on the Earth, and thus the Earth's geomagnetic field receiving maximum magnetism while directly between and closest to both stars on the last night of our month of Ramadan, which is December 31st. Which in turn maximizes the mental, spiritual, and decreeing power of those who prepare by purifying, making it a Laylat al-Qadr, which is Arabic meaning night of power or night of decree for us. Quote, it's from the Holy Quran, Surah 2, Ayah 117. And when he decrees a matter, only he says to it, kun fayakunu, which is Arabic for be and it becomes, or be and it is. Now we're going to get into Sirius and the night of power or decree. Okay. The name Sirius, which is the star we're focusing on now, which is referred to in the Holy Quran as Al-Shira. In Surah 53, Ayat 49, should say 49, made a little error there, is derived from the Greek word Sirios, which means glowing or scorcher. So now we got burning, scorcher, Ramadan. Okay. Sirius is at its highest point in the night sky at midnight, December 31st, the last night of our month of Ramadan and our night of decree. Sirius is at its highest point in the horizon, midnight, again, December 31st. And here's a book titled The Brightest Stars, Discovering the Universe by the Sky's Most Brilliant Stars by Fred Schaff, or Schaff, if I'm pronouncing it right. Okay. On page 104 of that book, it states, quote, "One of the observations that I described was of Sirius at its culmination, highest in the south at midnight. In our period of history, this midnight culmination occurs amazingly on the night of December 31st through January 1st. Continue. So whereas the ancient Egyptians deliberately began their new year at the time of Sirius's heliacal rising for the first time, probably about 2782 BC. Today, we enjoy the coincidence of the king of stars being highest at the opening minute of each year. Again, that's from The Brightest Stars, Discovering the Universe Through the Sky's Most Brilliant Stars, page 104 by author Fred Schaff. Okay. Sirius, again, at its highest point in the horizon, midnight, December 31st. Here's a book called The Secret Chamber, The Quest for the Hall of Records by Robert Bourval, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Quote, today in our modern calendar, we celebrate the changing of the new year at midnight on the 31st of December, January 1st, 12 a.m. It is a strange synchronicity that at exactly that time, for the year 1999 and 2000, the star Sirius reaches its culmination at the meridian. Again, that's from The Secret Chamber by Robert G. Bourval. Other observations of Sirius's culmination include the Universe Day International celebrates noon December 31st till noon January 1st as, quote, the official birthday of the universe. And this can be found at the source, www.universeday.org. Here's another source, another observation. The Quartus Foundation observes December 31st as, quote, World Healing and, quote, World Healing Meditation Day. That can be found at www.quartus.org. Okay. Sirius, again, at its highest point. Even today, unbeknownst to most of the people of the world, our New Year's Eve celebration is a continuation of a most ancient ritual. So this is not a new thing. Honoring the return of Sirius to the midheaven position at midnight. Occurring down through the ages around January 1st, this midnight alignment marks the moment when the energies of Sirius, directly overhead, most closely touch our lives in her most singular purity. For countless thousands of years and all around the world, without knowing the hidden reason, we have marked this midnight moment by jumping for joy as the rush of this vital connection surges through us. This is from Freya Alsdottir, if I'm pronouncing it right. And you can go this link here if you follow the arrow, www.souledout.org, night sky /New Year's Eve /New Year's star.html. There's a lot of information there about ancient observations of, that star, the Ramadan star, the burning star, Sirius, this time of year, or the last night of our Ramadan. Now, the best way to observe it, which is Sirius in its position, is not by reading it in a book or by watching this presentation, but by seeing it firsthand for yourself. So here you see the constellation of Sar, which the Greeks called Orion or Osiris, and you can probably recognize it at night if you got a good eye for it, but you can see the star Sirius. It's the brightest star. It's twinkling in the night sky, and you can go out now because we're in the season for it, and you can see it. And if you see the other stars relating to it, you know that that's what you're looking at. Okay. Here's another observation of it without the the drawing. This is how it would look if you just went from plain view. If you follow the arrow, the star Sirius, and if you look up about maybe 45 degrees to the right, there's Orion's belt, and there's the rest of Orion, or the constellation of the stars of Asar. Okay. Holy Quran Surah 97, titled Al-Qadr, which means the power or the decree, reads, 1. Indeed, we revealed it on the night of power. And what will make you understand what the night of power is? The night of power is better than 1,000 months. The angels and the spirit descend therein by the permission of their Lord for every affair. Peace. This is to the rise of the dawn, Al-Fajr. The law of correspondence says, as above, so below. Now, I don't know if how many of us are familiar with the Earth's geomagnetic field and what was known as Schumann's resonance. they determined that it vibrates or pulsates at a rate of 7.83 hertz per second, or cycles per second, which is hertz. And this corresponds evenly with the brain's alpha wave frequency, which also was measured to pulsate at 7.83 hertz, which is cycles per second, in this meditative state. So we know about meditation and prayer, but that's the law of correspondence. Okay. Now let us briefly review some of what was discussed earlier. Sirius A is aligned 180 degrees with the apsize line, the line that connects January 1st and July 4th. The apsize line connects July 4th and January 1st. The line of apsize connects the two apsis points on Earth's orbit. It is the major axis of the orbit. As mentioned earlier, the apsis point nearest to and directly between the sun and the star Sirius is known in astronomy as the perihelion or the periapsis. The apsis point farthest away from it, which is July 4th, is referred to as the aphelion or apoapsis. And again, follow the arrows. Just again, as a demonstration, you have the July 4th. The Earth is on its orbit furthest away from the sun and Sirius. January 1st on its orbit is closest to the sun and Sirius. And also it puts pressure on the Earth and causes the Earth's orbit to rotate or orbit around the sun at a faster speed when it reaches this time of year. But that's another topic. Okay. Oh, just touch that. The synergized magnetism of the sun and the star Sirius causes our planet to increase in speed on its orbit around the sun as the Earth approaches the periapsis, January 1st. There are videos you could see on YouTube that demonstrate the Earth on its orbit around the sun. And as it reaches the periapsis, which is the closest point to the sun and the star Sirius, you'll see it speed up on its orbit. Okay. This is, let's see. Oops, I think I lost the page. Hold on one second. I have to get my page directly back. Hold on. Okay, yeah, I'm back now. I kind of lost my screen for a second, but this is how synergized solar and stellar magnetism affects our planet. We're going to look into that. Here's a book called A Practical Guide to Vibrational Medicine, Energy Healing and Spiritual Transformation by Richard Gerber, MD. He's a medical doctor. Dr. Philip Callahan, a professor of entomology, the biology of insects, at the University of Florida, has worked as a consultant for the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Because of his insect studies, Callahan has come to appreciate the role geometry plays in attuning to and focusing certain types of electromagnetic energies. That's on page 271 to 272, Vibrational Medicine. As Callahan speculated that certain forms of focused geomagnetism possibly enhance the meditation of holy men, he also began to speculate upon how other alterations in the geomagnetic field might just as easily induce anxious or agitated states of consciousness. That's in the same book on page 273. Now, what was speculation to the conventional scientists of this world has always been knowledge to the original people, who is Allah, the supreme being, or Black man of Asia. We will now conclude this presentation by teaching on the reality of God as taught by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and proven by the laws of the universe, mathematics and science. The principle of vibration states, nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. All is mind and mind is all. Mind of the original people. The principle of vibration again states that nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. The difference between seen and unseen realities is merely its speed of vibration. As the speed of vibration of seen matter increases, it dematerializes, vaporizes, and ultimately vibrates into the unseen. As the speed of the vibration of an unseen reality slows down, it materializes and solidifies into the seen reality. This is not philosophy or religion. This is physics. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad taught that the terms Allah, the original people, and the supreme being, or black man of Asia, meaning earth, are all synonymous and one and the same. And that Allah, the original people, has both seen and unseen attributes or expressions. Bringing it back to the principle of vibration. The higher the vibration, the more unseen the expression. The lower or slower the vibration, the more seen the expression. The highest or most high expression of the mind of Allah, the original people, is the unified masculine and feminine, or electro and magnetic, or power and force field of the universe. Pure blackness at such a high speed of vibration that it is considered unseen, formless, and immaterial by conventional standards, and immeasurable by conventional tools and methods. What is considered righteous in religious terminology merely means moving at a high speed of vibration. In reference to, quote, the righteous mind, unquote, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said in his Theology of Time lecture series, quote, there are many people who believe angels and gods appear in the air somewhere, but if they're up there, we could see them. There is no such thing as formless spirits flying around in space unless you want to declare such as the righteous mind. Continue. The righteous has a mind that wills certain things to be done and using certain things which are in the space around, but it is not material. That's from the Theology of Time, August 20th, 1972, by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The highest dimension and expression of the original man is his unseen mind, moving at an infinite and immeasurable speed of vibration. As mentioned earlier, this is the unified masculine, feminine, or electromagnetic, or power and force field of the universe. As the speed of vibration of his unseen mind slows down, it crystallizes and materializes into the seen universe. The most supreme of all seen expressions of Allah is his material body, the original black man, woman, and child, the people from whom all other peoples come from. When we say, quote, the black man is God, or when we say, quote, Allah, we are speaking of man wholly, body and mind, seen and unseen as one reality. We don't speak of the original man's seen and unseen expressions as distinct and separate realities independent of each other. His unseen mind or spirit is his expression of self at the highest speed of vibration, and his seen body is his expression of self at a slower speed of vibration. Yet it is all Allah. Holy Quran, Surah 112, Ayat 1 says, Kul hu Allahu waharun, which translates into English as, say he, Allah is unified. Every original person on this planet is a seen expression of the unseen and infinite mind. Every original person is an extension and reflection of self. The different appearances to the naked eye, as short or tall, light, dark, brown or dark, straight, curly or woolly hair, skinny or fat, young or old, male or female, Christian, Jew, Muslim, atheist, Pan-Africanist, 5%er, original person, the good, the bad, and the ugly, are all expressions of the one infinite reality, merely expressing self at different speeds of vibration. Messenger Elijah Muhammad stated that, quote, Allah is all of us, end quote. Again, the Holy Quran, Surah 112, Ayat 1 says, Kul hu Allahu waharun, which translates into English as, say he, Allah is unified. As ice and steam are the same essence, H2O, moving at different speeds of vibration, body and mind are of the same essence, God, moving at different speeds of vibration. The higher the vibration, the more subtler the expression. The slower the vibration, the more concentrated and dense the expression. Okay. Quote, and he, that is he, and that he is the Lord of Sirius, end quote. That's the Holy Quran, Surah 53:49. This is the black man. That's Asar, the constellation of Asar, which represents the black man. He is the Lord of Sirius. That's Allah, the black man, no mystery God. Okay. Sirius, the star of Quranic revelation and Ramadan. If you take a look here, we see Sirius is the furthest south star of the winter triangle, which we have Betelgeuse up top and Procyon to the far left. But you can actually go out and see the winter triangle once we're able to recognize Sirius recognize the constellation of a star, Orion, and we can see the winter triangle. It's a beautiful sight, inspiring also, and it's in the southeast. Okay. Quote, by the star Sirius when it sets, Holy Quran, Surah 53, Ayat 1. What does this mean? Here's the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, quote, I am the Elijah of your Bible. I am the Muhammad of your Holy Quran. This is June 4th, 1972, Theology of Time Lecture Series. Sirius begins to set with the arrival of the, quote, fall season. Okay, let's look at this chart right here. The fall season begins when the Earth reaches a point on its orbit around the sun, the autumn equinox. If you follow this arrow here, we'll bring you right down to September or for autumn equinox. Okay, so that's when Sirius begins to set. At this point here, where the arrow is, the autumn equinox, at this point, the star Sirius, which was once hidden from our view, you can follow the arrow, it was hidden from our view by the light of the sun. It becomes visible again as the Earth orbits or rises out of the sun's light closer towards the star Sirius. So if you follow this arrow, we follow the orbit, you can't see Sirius, which would be actually way up here, on the line of apsides, but we wouldn't be able to see it because, we're behind the sun. But once we reach that fall or September or autumn equinox, that early fall equinox, then we come out of the sun's light, we begin to see the star Sirius, and it looks like it begins to set. Okay. From our view, this gives the star Sirius the appearance of falling or setting towards us. Holy Quran, Surah 53, Ayat 1. By the star Sirius when it sets, early fall, your companion errs not, nor does he deviate. That's Ayat 2. Ayat 3 says, nor does he speak out of desire. Next ayat. It is naught but revelation that is revealed. One mighty in power has taught him. Sirius again begins to set with the arrival of the fall season. When did the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad first meet his teacher, Master Farad Muhammad, and hear of Islam? Quote, by the star when it sets. Quote from the messenger, when I first heard of Islam, it was in Detroit, Michigan, back in the early fall of 1931. And I heard that there was a man teaching Islam by the name of Mr. Wallace Fard. The True History of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, page 36. This is in fulfillment of that ayah, by the star when it sets. Here's another quote from the messenger. In Revelation 18:1, it says that the revelator saw an angel come from heaven, from the Holy Land, having great power, and the earth, being the so-called Negroes, was enlightened with his glory, wisdom, and knowledge of the truth. As we continue, this angel can be no other than Master W.F. Muhammad, the great Mahdi, who came from the holy city of Mecca, Arabia, in 1930, and of whom we have spoken in many of our previous writings. This is from the Supreme Wisdom, Volume 2, page 12, by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Master Farad Muhammad taught Messenger Elijah Muhammad that the black man is God. Now, here are a few excerpts from Our Savior Has Arrived by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Messenger of Allah. This is his last book, publication that he left with us. Quote, Allah is all of us, on page 26. Quote, every righteous person is a God. We are all God. When we say Allah, we mean every righteous person, page 26. Here's the Holy Quran, Surah 38, ayats 4 through 5. 4. And the disbelievers say, this is an enchanter, a liar. Makes he the gods a single God? Surely this is a strange thing. Okay. Here's from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad again, from the same book. Allah teaches me that he is a man, not something that is other than man. The Holy Quran refers to him in such pronouns as he, now listen carefully, and as we, and as us. This is on page 26 of Our Savior's Arrived. Here's another quote from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. This is from his last Savior's Day in 1974. Every time you look at the black man, you are looking at God. Every time. Now, this is the science of Tawheed, or oneness, which we will discuss in the future, inshallah Sakin, be it the will of Allah in person. We're about to close. Ramadan Mubarak, which is Arabic for purification and blessings. Okay. So I'm going to anybody that has questions, they can raise their hand. I was testing this earlier. I was trying to get an idea of how to do the hand raise, but it's okay though. But you can also type your message there at the bottom in the chat. You can type your questions. Minister Alif, you can feel free to elaborate anything you want to elaborate on as the questions pop up. Either one of us can take on. Let me see if I can unmute Khalil. Maybe he might have got his microphone situation taken care of. Okay, hold on.
Or he could just use his regular cell phone.
That's true. In fact, I could probably send him. I don't know how to. Yeah, I'll have to come back to that. You there, Khalil? Okay, yes. Still, we're gonna take care of that next time. But oh, somebody said something. All right. Something. Yeah, I heard a little something, then it faded away. Let me check everybody else.
I'm gonna try to send him a text.
Okay. All right. So yeah, we just concluded our presentation. Okay, this Khalil, he says I'm here. Now we can read him, but we can't. I can read you, guy, but we can't hear you on the screen. But yeah, if anybody has again any questions, comments, suggestions, you can just type them in the message screen. Minister Alif, I'm gonna pass it to you right now. So
yes, sir. Peace and blessings, family. Now, my main thing is simply to support Brother Noor and Brother Maliki in this presentation. I'm not really, here to teach per se, but we all are teachers, so I'm definitely willing to share anything. But this is an important subject, and one of the things I want to do is put it in context, because in 2015, the Nation of Islam at the present state that is in has different branches. And we want to be clear that we realize and respect and recognize that some of the FOI and MGTs, specifically under the spiritual direction of the Honorable Raw Minister Louis Farrakhan, they no longer Ramadan in the month of December. So this is not to can you hear me?
Ali? Yeah, you have faded out for a second. Yes, sir. You're back now.
Okay. Yeah, I was basically saying that we have some of the family, spiritual family, that is, the FOIs and MGTs, that's under the spiritual direction of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, that, formally they don't Ramadan in December anymore. They Ramadan basically in the same month as the Orthodox Muslims or the Sunni Muslims in particular. And we want to, recognize and respect them, in that spiritual direction, and make it clear that the only thing we're simply doing as student files of Elijah Muhammad is looking at the science of Ramadan from the original books, in particular, the books you mentioned, Hadith to Live, Book 1, 1967, and Hadith to Live, Book number 2, 1972, directly from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, whose spiritual direction we are under. And as we share the life-giving teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we don't want anyone to think that just because we're pro Messenger Elijah Muhammad's direct original teachings, that we're anti any other brother or sister that may, have something that they added on to the cipher. So with that said, we do want to do a brief recap as far as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad basically teaches us the Ramadan in the month of December. And the Nation of Islam traditionally did that. And when he was physically in our midst, his position was some of his followers take it, meaning Ramadan in December, as well as with the Orthodox or the Sunni Muslims. And he explained in Hadith to Live that they are doing the right thing until this evil world is removed. However, as a student follower of Elijah Muhammad, he himself personally did not have a prostration mark on his forehead. He himself did not personally Ramadan with the Sunni Muslims, but in the Muhammad Speaks newspapers, he did publicly Ramadan in the month of December. So we're just student followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings, and we just wanted to put that in context for any brothers and sisters that may have, some questions regarding, well, why are y'all Ramadan in December? Because there are some FOIs and MGTs that no longer Ramadan in December, but we do Ramadan in December. Peace.
So peace. Okay. Khalil Maliki Fard, he said to unmute him. I'm hoping you got that taken care of. You off mute, God. So if we can hear you. Okay. Your mic is vibrating. Say something.
Can you hear us, Maliki, Khalil? I don't think he could hear us.
Nah, I think he can hear us. He can hear us, but we can't hear him. It's like, and I know he want to get in on this.
I could type something, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see if he can call. Let me give him the number to call in. Yeah, I'm gonna give you the number to call in right now. Give me 1 second, God. Let me see. Okay, the number to call in now. I'm gonna text it to you anyway. I'm gonna share it, but I'm gonna text it. It's area code is 323-920-0091. I'm gonna say that again. It's 323-920-0091, and the PIN is 222. Yes, 3 twos. Hyphen. Let's see, 222-949. I'm sorry, 9499. And it's pound. Let me see. Okay, so somebody else said that they couldn't hear, but everybody else seems to be able to hear. Okay, anybody that can hear, please type in for us in the chat and let us know if you can hear or not, because we just got a request saying, or someone saying that they couldn't hear, and I want to make sure. I don't know if it's just that one person's line or if it's a general thing affecting everybody. Let me see. Okay, yeah. Everyone's saying they can hear fine. Okay, Maliki Fard, I just sent you. I text you the information that you can call in and log in, and we got to see how that works. Hopefully you can. We can take care of that, and that way you can log in, get on the bill with us. But so yeah, we're going to allow a few minutes. We actually got about 7 minutes to kill. It says you're waiting. Okay, did you get the text? Let me type it in for you. Let me see. 323. This is the number. This is our first time with this also. So as we get along, get used to it, we'll get better and better. Let me see. Okay, the access. Let me see. That's okay. I just right there sent in the number that you dial, and here's the access. I'm going to put it in right now. Everybody that's logged on from the computers or that can see it, if you look into the chat, that right there is the call-in information. Okay, it's 1323-929-0091, and the access number is 222-9499 and a double pound. You able to read into the chat, Maliki Fard? Okay, yeah, you off. I mean, your phone is off. I mean, your mic is off mute. So
he said that's the wrong number.
Okay, I'm gonna try one more time. Let me see. Invite more people. Attendee. Let me see. Oh, okay. Try this one. 323. Hold on. I'm gonna read it out. I'm gonna text it to you. 323-920-0091. 0091. And
Steve,
yeah, okay, you there, guy?
Okay, I just heard you.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. It's about time.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Okay. I got
What's,
some,
what's
when I
up?
can speak, let me know.
Okay, yeah, you can speak. It's just that we're getting a little bit of feedback from you, so you might have to if you're on your phone, you might have to get away from the computer so that way we can hear you without the feedback.
I'll just turn any
Hey,
electronics
feedback
off in
now?
the room.
Is
Repeat
it
that?
feedback now?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
pretty good.
it's like a little echo though. We can hear you though.
Are you on speaker?
Oh, Sister Walala gave a regular. She said, take it off speaker. If you on speaker,
Okay.
if your phone on speaker, take it off speaker.
It's off speaker. Can you hear me?
Perfect.
Yeah, it's
Perfect.
clear now. That's
Perfect.
okay. We
All
got
right,
remember
excellent.
that.
Thank you,
Good
Sister
tip,
Walala.
All right.
All right. Salam Allah.
La
Yes.
salam.
All right. I wanted, that was an excellent bill, Gods. And
Yes, sir.
I wanted to deal with two specific subject matters.
Mm-hmm.
One of the subject matters is the misquote and misuse of the multiple teaches us that if we fast with them, we're doing the right thing. A lot of my brothers, under the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the great black God he is, misuse that particular quote. If you take what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us in How to Eat to Live, Book 2, and I would like to give the exact sites because it's very important that people know what they're reading when they're reading it. And I will also be citing out of the true history of Elijah Muhammad. In both books, which is very interesting, is the argument that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad gives pertaining to fasting in the month of Ramadan with the Orthodox Islam. What has been happening throughout all the bodies of the Nation of Islam is that they have limited the messenger's reasoning of fasting during that month to that of what Imam Wolfdin Muhammad said in 1975, which was the messenger wanted to give ease to us, so therefore he picked December particular in order to have pretty much a ease for us, because it was a lighter daylight, lesser daylight, and the nighttime came fast, and it wasn't as hot, and also limiting it to Christmas. Now, it's interesting to me, without any disrespect, that in the 1998 December fast of Ramadan was frozen or suspended indefinitely. One of the reasons that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us that month was to wane us from Christmas. Let me make and check in points. When the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad came amongst us, we are taught that the same events of the history of Prophet Muhammad and what he did was but a sign, according to the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, to the what he would do here. So when the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad comes amongst us and we study him as the Muhammad here in the West, then we should also suspect or expect him to do certain things, such as Prophet Muhammad ﷺ had to flee from Mecca to Medina. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad had to flee from Detroit and had to flee to Chicago. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, when Prophet Muhammad came, he changed the direction from Jerusalem, which was the direction of the Jews. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad in 1972, at commemoration of Mas Mariam, while Brother Minister James Shabazz was praying towards the east, literally and physically stood up and faced west in prayer and taught us that no longer will we face east. So the messenger changed the direction of prayer as Prophet Muhammad changed the direction of prayer 14 years prior. When Prophet Muhammad ﷺ came upon the scene, he came from the tribe of the Quraysh. The Quraysh had to fast in the month of Ramadan, their Ramadan. In usage of the word, we must understand that the term Ramadan did not begin with Islam, but was in pre-Islamic times with the black Sabians that was in that region, and Ramadan was their second month. At that time, they fasted for 30 days. The same exact manner as we would see now, as they say, with the motion of the moon. However, when Prophet Muhammad salam first came and started to enter into the sciences and the studies of what would eventually be Islam, they called him a Sabian because his practices were similar to those who was existing in pre-Islamic times. Now, not to get off point, but to stay on point of why the messenger, and why we would expect that the messenger would change. I personally say that when Prophet Muhammad salam came up and we study the teachings, we find that Ashura, the month that was followed by the Quraysh, in Islam history, as they write it and as they stated, Prophet Muhammad salam was following the fast of the original Quraysh, which was for the 30 days, and which was with Ashura. However, when he received the revelation and he received the Ramadan as dictated in the Holy Quran, he made it obligatory for Muhammad to be followed in accordance with the Holy Quran, and he made the following of the fast of Ashura, which was followed by the old world that was in existence before the new world of Islam at that particular time of 1400 years ago came into play, optional. So when the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad came, he adapted Ramadan in accordance to the needs, the desires, and what was necessary for black people here in America, who was deemed to become the leaders of the Islam of the world. So we spoke, and the messenger did the same. He made for his followers, which he made that statement clear. For my followers, I chose the month of December. Now, once he said that, that is clear. There is no interpretation. It is, I chose this month for my followers. Now, within the same, our Holy Quran, our Surah, How to Live, Book 2, we mainly would deal with fast as taught by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad on pages 56, 57, and 58. The messenger makes a statement, which is very, very important. He says that, he says, then after dark they can eat all right. So now look at what he says is very important. He gives a reason for him changing the Ramadan. He gives a meaning to why he changed the Ramadan. And it was not just based upon Christmas. It went a little bit deeper. The same way as he taught us. He said that reason why that he chose the month of December, which is the last month of the year, because it's the detail that we, the so-called American Negro, are the end of all signs, or the last of signs and the end of signs. It consists of Ramadan and the pilgrimage. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, as far as that sign, he said, Ramadan on page 56 of How to Live, Volume 2. Ramadan, the Holy Quran teaches us, is the month that the Holy Quran was revealed to Muhammad. And they worship the month by abstaining from eating and drinking during the daytime from sun up to sundown, or before the sun rises until after she sets in the western skies. Then after dark, we can eat and drink until the sun rises again the next day. The significances, now listen to his words, of this Arabic fasting in Ramadan is that the spiritual darkness of Yaqub's made man, the white race, eating and drinking, sport and play, was the order of the white world until the daybreak of truth coming in the first of the 7,000th years. After the 6,000 years of spiritual darkness and evil of the white man's world, we are living now in the bright spirit world of Allah, the great Mahdi in the person of Master Muhammad, to whom praises is due forever. Therefore, we are not the children of darkness, but the children of light and truth. So the messenger's understanding of their month of Ramadan was that it was a sign of the spiritual darkness that had engulfed the world due to the movement of Yaqub and his children. And the reason why that you do that comes forth and that day has been broken is because of the wise words and the manifestation as given to us by Master Muhammad Ta'ala. Now look at what he says that is deeply, actually and divinely. There is no fast set for the children of the light of God, and their fasting cease. But until we have accomplished our work of perfection of self and separation of us from the spiritual darkness of Yaqub's made man and teachings, we fast to get out of it and take a month that we used to worship as being the month in which birth Jesus came out. Now look, this is an interesting breakdown. He said, there is not one that we should worship in regards to their holidays. Now, if the messenger did his boycott of Christmas and stopping us from not only worshiping a dead prophet and not only boycotting us from spending millions and millions of dollars on Christmas and their holidays, if it was unneeded, and that black people in America is so developed beyond that state, then why in 2016 are we screaming for a boycott of Christmas when the messenger set up a meticulous artwork in order to gradually bring us from out of such a state and at the same simultaneously destroy the economical foundation that this European white man had put in position? So we've taken away the safeguard and reasoning of the messenger, only to give it back with picketing and boycotting. Listen, this is not a knock. This is mathematics. Now, the messenger teaches us there is not one that we should worship. The past Thanksgiving Day that you were celebrating, would you have to thank God and man for that last Thursday of November? Surely you should thank God for allowing you to live to see that day. But this was the man's day, Yaqub's made man. The black man should not take any part in any white people's holidays, not even to Sunday. These are not our days. Please remember this. I will take you further into the knowledge if you write me a space here in our book is limited. Now look at what he say. The Muslims, as I foresaid, do not eat nor drink from before sunrise until after the sun has set. If you take it, the fast of Ramadan with them, you are the right thing until the evil war has vanished. Now,
yeah, you came in broken up that last part.
Oh, he said, as I foresaid, do not eat nor drink from before sunrise until after the sun has set. If you take it, the fast of Ramadan with them, you are doing the right thing until this evil world has vanished. That is on page 58 of How to Live, Volume 2. Now, what is interesting is if we use proper comprehension skills and not break and take one part of what the messenger said, but read it as a total book, then we come into a comprehension and understanding of what he is telling us. He was not telling us that he was in agreement with their fast of Ramadan. What he was telling us is that it's never wrong to fast when you are under the spiritual rulership of Yaqub's made man. But he did not in any form or manner declare that you remove the fast of them because their way was the right way to do it. Because in that case, you would not have an entire argument in the book where the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad pretty much asks them, if you can convince me a reason of why I shall fast in that month, I would. Why would he say that? If he agreed, if he believed in it, why would he do it? He wouldn't. So what I'm saying and suggesting is, I have no problem, according to the messenger teachings, of individuals fasting in the month of Ramadan. And I agree with the messenger. You should be able to fast whenever you want. You can never fast too much, living in this spiritual darkness. But however, that does not include that we can take away the messenger's teachings and treat them as if they were substandard, as if we have grown and evolved to fast with a world that is dying, that the messenger said that he would not give 2 cents for, which was the Orthodox version of Islam. That is what should anybody who follow the messenger teachings be in disagreement with. If anyone is going to fast then you must make the messenger who stated that his was obligatory for his followers to fast in that particular month, which was December, and then you must make optional fast of Islam. To do it backwards would then declare that the messenger reasoning behind why he did it was not logical or that it was not precise. And that any follower of the messenger must disagree with. It's just mathematically sound.
We're going to open. Anybody has any questions, again, feel free to type into the chat. I'm sure one of us, that are hosting it can probably answer the question, or you can just direct it to either one in particular or in general. Feel free. Right now the form is open. We're going to close out in a second because I didn't want to the recording to go beyond an hour just for the sake of YouTube purposes and everything else. But we're gonna be using this platform for other subjects and other topics within the messenger's teachings. Yes, and when we do, we'll put the word out in advance to let everybody know. But again, the information will pretty much be the same. And I'm going to work on I know some people are easily able to get on with laptops. There were some issues with people that were getting on from the phones, but we're going to take care of all of that for future reference. And this is going to be archived. And I'm going to share the link with everybody where they can view the archive. This is also going to be can be viewed at YouTube. We're going to have it there as well. So, indeed, Brother Minister Dawood, we appreciate the information. We appreciate them. We appreciate the love. Just, I see you there in the chat, Sister Monique, and everybody else. All right. I guess there's no questions. I'm assuming we just answered everything or laid it all out. Nah. Well, it's okay. If not, you can always feel free to hit us up for any other questions, comments, and suggestions. But we're going to close out right now for the sake of time and respecting everybody else's time, including mine. And we will see you next time. And when we do have our build, more people are coming in. He said, what more can be said? Yes, Sister Monique, you'll be able to, I'm going to send you the link to the playback so that way you can watch the presentation because there was a lot of beautiful information that was shared. So,
Brother God.
Yes, sir.
Before you hang up, just for those who always say, like brother ministers, who say the messenger did not call this month of Ramadan, I would suggest for them to turn to How to Eat to Live, Book 2, page 52, in which the messenger say, and so I say to my followers, we are not fasting in December. We are just abstaining from taking a part with false worship. We abstain from eating meat throughout the month of Ramadan, the month of December. So the messenger called our fast in December Ramadan. So it must be understood that though we hold on to a month of Ramadan being the 9th month of what we would consider to be the Arab world, meaning of the term Ramadan is what the messenger encompassed.
Right.
So when he named our month Ramadan, he called it in the reality of what the word meant. So any minister that teaches against it and say that it's not the month of Ramadan, or any believer that say it's not the month of Ramadan, it is not the messenger that must come to your level of understanding. It is you that must come to the messenger's level of understanding of why he did it, why he said it, and why he prescribed it.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, peace, Brother Derek Muhammad. We see you in the chat. Sister Laila Mariam from Arizona, we see you in the chat. Appreciations. You're welcome. Case closed. Indeed, Brother Minister Dawood. Indeed, Fahim from Houston. Fahim Muhammad, we see you. Thanks. Excellent teachings. Peace. All right. So, yeah, that was a good presentation. That good finish, Brother Khalil. Thanks for tagging in Brother Minister Alif. And we're going to close out now. And if you are with the messenger's message, this is it. Indeed, Brother Minister Alif, I see you. So we're going to share again next time, next channel. Oh, I'm sorry, next Angel time, same Angel channel, but we'll share the information, let everybody know. All right, everybody. Sir. Peace.
All right, peace. Thank you, brother. Enjoyed it.
Indeed.
Thank you all. Peace, Allah.
Peace to the family. Yes, sir.
Peace.
Assalamu alaikum.